Hi guys, you're watching Slingshot 101, and today we'll be launching an object from our homemade slingshot. I hope you guys like it. Thank you. Alright guys, you have just watched our launching of our projectile. Now that you have that image in your head of what it looks like, let's go over the math behind it. Alright, we're going to be finding what our Vy is, or our the velocity of y when it goes in the y direction. So let's find that out now. So Vy equals your Vy initial. Okay. Now Vy plus gravity and the time will equal to that Vy initial. So that's our equation that we're going to use in order for it to give us Vy. So let's do that. So we know that Vy, once it reaches in the video, once it reaches that point of its highest point, when it's still traveling through the air in the x direction, we know that it has not hit the direction where it's going to start falling and going in the y direction. So what we can assume from there is that Vy is 0 plus gravity, which gravity is 9.8. And now we have the time. We'll bracket it or put it in parentheses, and it'll be 0.9. 0.9 is the time that it took to get to that height where we are measuring from, where it took to get to its maximum height. That maximum height is where it took 0.9 seconds to get there. So now let's calculate that. Once we calculate this, it should come out, or it will give us to Vy equals 8.82. Okay, so now that we have found our Vy, we're going to find our x displacement, or we're going to use the x displacement equation for us to find our Vx, or velocity of x. So let's do that. So x displacement over, alright, sorry, stepping ahead here, going ahead. Okay, x displacement equals Vx times the time. Now what we want to do is we want to get Vx by itself on this side. So we're going to divide by t, canceling them out. And we're going to have t now over here. So now you have time under the x displacement. You will now have it as x displacement over t, or your time, will equal to 7.9 over 1.7. Now that should come out to and give me Vx equals 4.64 meter per second. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem, and we are going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So let's do that now. Or let's write it out first. Okay, so that we have that now, we're going to draw our right angle that we have. Okay, now we got our right angle here. Now this is an angle here, but we'll worry about that later. So we're trying to find V. We already have Vy, and we have Vx. So our numbers for those are going to be 8.82 meters per second and 4.64 meters per second. Those are numbers that we have so far. Let's find this question mark right there. Okay, so let's do our math here on the side. 8.82 squared plus 4.64 squared will give me c squared, or my v, or the v velocity. And then, so this comes out to 77.8 plus 21.5 equals c squared. Now you're coming out to 99.3 equals c squared. Now what we want to do from here is we want to square root our answer. Square rooting the answer will then give me 9.10 equals my velocity in that direction. Like that. So now let's put that up here so that we know that that's what we have up there. So I have 9.10. Okay, so we have all three parts now. So now that we have all three parts of this, what we can do is we can start finding whatever we want to find, which is like a tangent or a cosine or things like that. Okay. Alright, so now that we have found using our a squared plus b squared equals c squared equation, we have found all the parts to our right angle. So let's label those, and now after we label that, we are going to find the angle that's in that area. So let's do that. Okay, so that we have found these now, we want to find this angle here that we're using. So the only way that we can do this now is that if we use SOHCAHTOA, which is either tangent, cosine, or those type of things. So we're going to use tangent, so let's use tangent. Okay, so tangent is going to be Vy over my Vx, so let's do that. So tangent equals Vy over Vx. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to use inverse tangent. So when we use inverse tangent, you are going to come out with something. So when you use inverse tangent, you come out with tan negative 1 will equal to whatever your answer is going to be here. So let's do that. So tan negative 1, or inverse of tangent, is going to equal out to, or if you plug your numbers in first, it'll make it easier. So let's put that 8.82 and 4.64. So we have our numbers here. Let's plug that into our inverse tangent. .82 divided by 4.64 equals out to 62. Okay, so that equals out to an angle of 62 degrees. Now that we have that there, 62 degrees as our angle, we can say that this degrees that we were holding our slingshot at was a 62 degree angle. Alright. Well guys, that's all we have for today. I hope that you guys liked it. You guys have a good rest of the year. Thank you.